match. However, Freya is here to talk to Regan from c0ntact about c0ntact's chance versus Dignitas VIE coming up next.
I am indeed. A very important matchup coming up for the guys from c0ntact, no less. Thank you, Regan, so much for taking the time to chat with me. Of course, you are one of the newer members of this c0ntact roster. So can you talk to me about, how comfortable you've been feeling integrating into the team over these past few weeks?
I mean, when I joined the team, I always wanted to play with Snappy and those guys, so they gave me like the best roles, they gave me the best position, so I feel really comfortable playing with them, and yeah.
Interesting. So why specifically Snappy? Why were you sort of wanting to be playing underneath him?
I mean, he's so long in the scene, he played 1.6 before, he's a great in-game leader as well, so yeah.
How different is he to some of the other in-game leaders that you maybe have previously played under on some other teams? Does he give you a little bit more freedom? What is his approach?
I mean, Snappy's a bit more structured, but I like this kind of gameplay. And I mean, when we want freedom, me or SP or Spinks or anyone of the team, when someone wants freedom, he just gives us the freedom, so yeah.
I also wanted to ask about your own development as a player as well. Is there any key things that you've been focusing on we should be particularly looking out for coming into this next match?
I mean, I try to practice my individual skill so I can play better, and yeah, that's everything, to be honest.
And of course, this next matchup, it's going to be a crucial one for you heading up against Dignitas VIE. How are you viewing them as opposition at the moment?
I mean, they have two legends in their team, Forrest and Freiberg, so I have a bit of respect. But there's no respect on the server, of course, so I think we're going to win this game 2-0, but yeah, I think it's going to be maybe a tough game, yeah.
Confident words coming out there. Absolutely love to hear it, Regan. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Best of luck going into it, and we won't have to wait too much longer. Exactly how it is going to be going down. We're going to be heading to a quick break, but when we are back, it's going to be c0ntact taking on Dignitas VIE.
After the break,
c0ntact takes on Dignitas.
We're live with Flashpoint 2.
Straight fire. Nailed it. 10 out of 10.
Up next here on Flashpoint 2 is Dignitas VIE versus c0ntact. We swapped the match. We've swapped our analysts. Thorin and Potter will be joining me for this riveting next series. I know you guys are really excited.
I know people make fun of these teams, but you know what? I'm going to make a bold statement here. I know right now they're a really messy lineup. Like, no one really knows what's going on. Like, at the moment, there's no real communication going on in Contact, right? But ultimately, in this matchup, I actually do have faith in Contact. Like, I think they can foster an environment in which they could actually succeed, potentially. I know they've got a long journey to go on to figure it out, but I reckon for next year, maybe, after the ball's dropped, that actually they could be a good team.
All right.
Straight fire, if you know the reference. 1997 movie Contact. Go look it up.
Yep.
All references.
Yep.
Bars.
The ball dropping is the
All of it.
alien machine that
go.
transports you to the other world.
And they'll need some
We
sort of
actually
technology to win
watched
here,
it together earlier this
yeah.
year during Flashpoint
I was cheating
1.
a little bit. Yeah, I did watch it recently. So
We watched it together. Also, still a pretty good movie.
not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jodie
holds up.
Foster does pretty well. The directing's a little 90s
Matthew
wacky.
McConaughey.
Yeah,
Always a big fan.
of course.
Well, all right.
Yeah, you know, so let's talk
Listen, I
about
can do all the accents, but you have to understand that.
Let's talk about our matchup and our group here first that Dignitas VIE is competing in as alongside Contact. It will be our Midsommar group, of which we just saw Mad Lions punch their ticket to the Flashpoint playoffs. So this group seems to have a pretty clear-cut 1 and 2, but I will say that Contact did show some glimmers when they played against Fnatic. Was Fnatic taking that match entirely seriously? I question that based on their decisions and gameplay, but they still managed to get a map, and that means very crucially that Contact is potentially still alive even if they go out in 4th place. So if Contact can steal a map here, it will then come down to round differential between them and Envy as to who is going to have a chance in our last chance qualifier. So it is very important that Contact, even if they lose with dignity. Dignitas VIE
Must win, obviously. Yeah.
Dignitas VIE must win. They already went 0-2. If they lose this match, definitively Envy is going to be the team in our last chance qualifier.
Yeah, and I think
My God.
My God, how did we get here?
God,
By the way,
God.
for those of you who, the unspoken part of that is that Cloud9 and OG, one of them is definitively out of this tournament tomorrow, depending on who loses, which is rough. It's rough. But let's talk about Contact. They may not have had the opponent taking them so seriously. They won a map. What is to like about this Contact roster?
it's definitely hard to tell with Fnatic, right, about how seriously they might be taking these series. But I mean, you saw it right there. Udoh, he had some highlight moments, highlight clips. He really thrives in those close quarter combat, multi-kill DM type of scenarios. And Udoh, he popped off absolutely on this Train, and Esperanto, his right-hand man, Train being his best map. And, you know, I think we're probably actually going to see Train coming out in this series as well.
I mean, you've seen it in the highlights here. I mean, if people don't know, Snappy himself was known to be like a pretty decent frag in IGL. So as you notice in here, the reason why everyone is in this team is they're all FPL players. They've all basically been. That's why everyone's got highlight clips. Like, it's not just one player. We haven't just got the star player only. But that is exactly the nightmare scenario for Snappy. Is they're not only super inexperienced, but they all have the game that normally would be like, well, I'm the star player. Well, I'm the star player. Well, if you're the star player, then who's the star player? Like, in that scenario, you actually often end up, funnily enough, like a comedy sketch, that without a star player. So the main thing for me is I need to see what the structure is going to emerge into. I didn't see a lot of it against Fnatic. Admittedly, a hard team to play against. Very tricky opponent, as, I mean, they played themselves right there, like some DJ Khaled shit. So I think, yeah, that's what Snappy has to do. He has to solve this, has to cut the Gordian knot, as it were.
A tough thing to do. Well, we have this Neil M. quote about Dignitas VIE. We practiced them a few times before they announced their roster, and they were good. I talked to a lot of people to try and see, how's this team? People told me they're not. I assume that means they're not good.
And, you know, we've been actually getting a lot of these types of mixed messages about Dignitas. Even thinking back at Flashpoint 1, you know, they had those insane pistol rounds. The strategy, you could clearly see it. But then when it came down to the fragging and when it came down to actually getting the W's on the board, they fell really short. So definitely in practices and scrims, we've been hearing Dignitas look great. Heath, he's a superstar on the rise. No one knows a thing about him. But unfortunately, they were underwhelming in their debut.
Indeed. I actually think the main problem Dignitas is having overall is when you bring in new players as well, that's not really the ideal time to do an IGL swap and to a fresh IGL. Like, I know technically many, many moons ago, I think it was like 3 years ago now, Heroic supposedly had Freiburg be the IGL briefly, but again, that was a very mixed roster. It wasn't even the same nationality. I think that's part of the issue right now. Like, Forrest can still frag sometimes. Actually, the other player, Harry, didn't look bad. He had a few rounds that were pretty good in this particular game even. He, aside from this clip, I remember doing almost nothing, I'm afraid, in the series. So he is really, bear in mind, he's the one of the two, as you mentioned, was supposed to have the hype. listen, nerves. He never played before. He's in a big game. He's known players. People might laugh at the level of the competition, but this is still much, much above what he's used to. So you have to let those players kind of settle into it. Like, maybe he is going to be a good player and everyone will laugh hard on the first game, but then he'll start to ease into it as the tournament goes on.
Well, let's ask about the players that remained after the swaps that Dignitas VIE made recently. And so far, we didn't get to see Halzerk in Flashpoint 1, but we have seen him in a variety of other European tournaments alongside Freiburg and Forest. Who deserved to remain in this roster based on what you guys have seen?
It has to be Forest, right?
The most obvious one, yeah.
Definitely the most obvious one. He's absolutely timeless in that server, but I don't even want to focus on Forest. I think we can already expect Forest to do his job, maintain his responsibilities. He tends to always do that. I'm looking straight at Halzerk. As you mentioned, Monty, he was not in Flashpoint 1, and we had so many high hopes for exactly what kind of superstar prowess he's going to bring for this Dignitas squad. And I got to say, in their opening series, he was a bit underwhelming. Sure, he had a couple rounds where he was actually able to showcase his skill, get those multi-kills on the board, but for the rest of it, there was actually a huge disconnect, especially between him and Heath towards that ramp on Nuke, which is, again, a map that I think we're absolutely going to be seeing in this series. And it's just so important. Nuke is just such a tough map to be proficient on when you can't hold ramp, right? And it's okay if you let go of ramp, if that's the decision you make, but it can't be half-assed. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He has to make a decision on whether he wants to give it up, drop down, create some sort of different sort of crossfire, or he's got to be good for his shot.
What people forget, unfortunately, about Halzerk, because essentially he almost never got to play, because even when they came back from Flashpoint 1 where they couldn't use him, basically they weren't in many of the online competitions. They aren't in a lot of the big leagues. I mean, they're in Flashpoint, yeah, whatever. We know the jokes, okay? But they didn't actually play in a lot of the online tournaments. They weren't even a team grinding the cups, quite frankly. They were sort of idling for a while. So what people forget about Halzerk is the logic of this team used to be, right, there's the old nip guys, maybe they can get it together, and this young fragger Halzerk, like, right, that's taken for granted. He's really good. It's like, I don't think the guy's ever played a Tier 1 LAN, ever his entire life. Like, and obviously the pandemic hit, you never got a chance to go to them. So what I'm kind of latching onto here is people have taken for granted that Halzerk is going to be one of the best players even in this team. Like, that is still yet to be proven. Like, I want to see more of that.
Well, you're going to see at least a couple more games of it, Thorin, as we head into this map. And our first map has yet to be decided. Let us take a look at the vetoes, starting things off before we get into our picks.
As Potter said, it is almost certain one of these teams is picking Nuke. Like, it's the main map played for Dig. It's also a pretty good map for the guys from c0ntact. c0ntact, here's their problem. They love to play Mirage and pick that whenever possible. At the moment, that's the one map Dig hasn't been playing, so you feel like that's probably a veto that gets you out of the equation. Then if the other map, I think off the top of my head for c0ntact, I think it was Train, as we said from the highlights. That was another map they like, right?
Yeah, that's definitely their go-to, especially if that Mirage isn't available, as you mentioned, Duncan. And I think c0ntact is pretty straightforward. They should be getting rid of this Vertigo. Now, as far as Dignitas pick goes, I think they can play around with this. I think they can choose to go with Nuke, which seems to be their comfort pick, but they did have the cojones to bust out that overpass in their last series.
Yeah.
It didn't go well. We have to remember that scoreline. It certainly didn't go well. But the fact that c0ntact are so weak on that overpass, hey, if I'm Dignitas, I go for a round 2 here.
Yeah, and there we go. We get the Mirage ban. I actually agree with that, though. The fact that you didn't even do well means you probably didn't fully execute all your stuff. You haven't necessarily given it all away. And it's a different team. Like, I could believe if you look at the mix of players in c0ntact, is that a map they put a lot of time into? I don't know on that one. Like, that could certainly be one of the fringes of the map pool.
And it could have been a nerves issue, too. I mean, Freiburg looked really frustrated in those reaction shots, so you got to believe that they think they can do better.
Yeah, for sure. And Freiburg's got a tough role right now, being the in-game leader, being the space maker. And as I mentioned before, he's such a selfless player. So a lot of the times he's going to be finding himself in those scenarios where he's far forward ahead and he's, where the heck is my team, right? So definitely Dignitas, their communication has to be 5 times better today.
This is why, if you're Dig, even though you were the underdog of the betting odds, a spoiler, I think most of the talent picked the c0ntact team to win. This is why you're going to have a shot, though. If they're picking into the map you like the most anyway, you get a free selection on the other one. That's also, by the way, why you can go into that bold overpass if you want. Because even if you lose it, there's a good chance you can win their map. So in this world, like, this is where if Dig really are a proper team and they're not just messing around and these players are actually going to play with them beyond this tournament, you just go for a bold pick there. You're already almost on the brink of elimination. Why not go for the Hail Mary, as it were, and put some pressure on them? Instead, they go with the boring to stupid. Whatever. That's why we're in it.
I'm
All that build up for that.
I'm going to go into Vendetta's brain here, and Contact's one of their weakest maps also is Dust 2. It's a map that actually they probably would have vetoed in this next round
Sure.
if Dig didn't pick it. So I can see
Still
a
bold
world.
in a way then.
It is. It's a bit bold, but it's Dust 2, right? I mean,
Yeah.
just as good as Dig is going to be, Contact are going to be good on it as well. So
I feel like just with what's left, it feels like a train decider here. Like if you just think about who'll ban what, like if I'm Contact, I'm probably vetoing Overpass here. I think it just feels like a logical one.
yeah. Well, Dig should
we
veto
go.
Train here. It should
You think
land
they-
on
You
Inferno.
think they prefer Infernal now?
Well, Dig,
They haven't played many maps,
the
is the
most.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They played Train the most, but just like Contact has. And I just don't think they want to go toe-to-toe versus Contact on a Train.
Okay, we do get
There
the
we go.
Inferno decided. I actually feel like Inferno, that feels like a bit of a coin flip right there. I don't think either team's going to be super good on it.
Yeah, but I think probably Dig wanted it to be that way, right? A coin flip, a 50-50 to bring it into that third map. So it does kind of make sense. Man, this Dust 2 Dig are going to have some sort of crazy game plan, right? Because Udoh, he absolutely popped off
Yes.
on the Train in their first series. And as I mentioned, Udoh just thrives in those close quarter combat scenarios. So long A, mid, short A. Dignitas are going to have to be top-notch with their flashbangs to really make Udoh as uncomfortable as possible.
Before we get into our next series, we do have to revisit our Pinnacle Points leaderboard right now.
Why?
Why? Potter.
What the hell? I'm second from bottom. Oh, that's right. I did actually pick Fnatic, to be fair. I put loads on
look
Fnatic
at where
as well.
Anders
I
is
think I put
now.
something mental like 750 on Fnatic as well. So you can imagine how I felt when they were 48 up, guys.
So-
Imagine how I felt.
So I put 350 on Fnatic. So I think I'm between Allen and Semler right
Here's
now.
the thing
if
I've
I
got
had
to give
guess.
credit for. To be fair, Maui and Bardolph, many times I've seen this graphic, have been actually 1 and 2 on this graphic before. But the guy who obviously isn't is Anders. Like, yeah, Anders has done a massive comeback, essentially. To be fair, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but we're not just keeping all the totals running. You get a sort of second and third life, a bit like in the tournament, you know?
So Anders, because he predicted Mad Lions and went quite heavy on them in the last game, you
course.
can swing things pretty aggressively, as Potter knows from her.
That's what I'm hoping for
750
anyway.
on NV yesterday, which is what dug you into this hole. So with that said, I imagine most of us pick Contact here. Last night's Pinnacle odds that we were taking a look at were heavily in favor of Contact. 3.10 to 1.38 that we were looking at when we made our predictions, because we do ours the night before the lines change. And let's take a look at our casters now, which will be Bardolph and Haka, to see where they have put themselves in this matchup.
Hello.
If you stand up, you'll look
Hello.
like you're inside the space helmet there, James.
Oh, wow.
Do it.
Let's
Do
go.
it.
All right. There we go.
There we go.
My shoulders are in as well, though. There we go. That's like wearing a normal helmet.
There you go.
Marvellous.
I've just got an owl leering over my head, just very ominously.
Yeah, it's like Harry Potter. Look, you've got the vibe going on there, mate.
It is, it is. All right, we've actually
Ooh,
got some
Pots
big
is in there as well. I'm
Hello.
surprised
Wow.
there's more investment here. Basically,
Christine.
I don't want to come second. I don't want to come second. I want to win. And I think
Jeez.
like, yes, Dignitas have lost their last 7 matches in a row, but at some point they've got to win a match. Maybe it's going to be this one.
The only person wasting more money on Dig than Christine is the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, God.
Look it up. Just Google
Oh,
that.
no.
Just Google that.
Yeah, I have to harp on James' point there. It's been 3 months since Dignitas has actually won a series. It's been over 2 months since they've won a single map. So this was quite the gamble. Let's just put it that way. This was quite
There
the
we go.
gamble.
Wow,
in
Anders too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I feel like we've like tripled, quadrupled the number of people picking Dignitas to win, because formerly it was only Fifth Laren. So you guys
go.
really backing up.
You got to spin to win, man. We are definitely on the roulette table here, just on one number as well. But maybe it comes up. If it does,
I think-
we're
Why
having
on
steak
this
for
image,
dinner.
right? Those bring up the graphics again, like the art that we just saw there, please. The producer guy. No, never mind. They don't actually watch
It's all
the show.
right.
They just
They're
there we
bringing it
go.
up.
There we go. Right? Why is it right? They're all really good likenesses, and even all of mine include. But look at Freya's. Like her eyebrows are just a little bit too sharp there. She's never that like slightly annoyed. It's like when people are laughing at my jokes in the green room, like I have to be paid to fucking be. Like, yeah, great joke, Thorne. Yeah, I'll see you on the show and that, mate. Yeah, oh, I love this. It's that slightly pained look.
Her eyes are full of hate.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we need to get into our match between Dignitas VIE and Contact here. And to bring us that action, as you've already seen, is Bardolph in a spacesuit and Haka with an owl leering over his shoulder.
Like your career.
I actually have a lot of. I look at owls on Instagram.
You look at owls on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is that how we're starting this, James?
I kind of want one.
You want one?
Yeah.
Like
It's
as a
just-
pet?
Owls are awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're awesome. But there's some guy runs some kind of owl sanctuary
Okay.
on, and it's just kind of epic. But we'll see if Dignitas can be epic. No alien heads, it's the owl these days, and we'll see if they will fly here on Nuke, starting on the CT side. Dignitas, we are asking a lot of them to break a lot of terrible streaks, as Potter alluded to on the desk over there. Massive losing streaks. They don't know what victory feels like, or tastes like, or smells like anymore.
Oh, straight down the vents. Esperanto and Rigon getting down there safely. Otto taking a fight a yard. They're getting the bomb down, though. Dig are not able to react to this. Bomb planted. Now Dignitas start to rotate over. Heath looking for the first fight, but it's Hara who opens things up. And the rest of Contact are still not down towards this B site yet. They're taking a lot of time.
We've got some big flanks from them, but Esperanto needs to deliver. In the meantime, he will do so far, so good. Snappy coming in from the ramp, and Freiberg and Hulzerk remain. Freiberg has a kit. The bomb's planted for him with Hulzerk holding the angle, and that should be the defuse. I don't think they can get there in time. Oh, he just about gets there. Snappy runs out of bullets as well. The bomb has been defused, and Dignitas will take the pistol. You said they weren't on the site. They didn't have positions to defend the bomb plant once Decon was taken.
Yeah, especially with where that bomb's planted. That was rough for Contact, especially because Esperanto actually does a really good job in that situation, considering the spot he's left it. To get 2 kills there, pretty impressive. The upside for Contact, though, is just getting that bomb plant is already a pretty decent win for you, in that you can buy into this next round and you can keep it close early. And we'll see if Dignitas are able to deal with a quick A play.
Yeah, they've prioritized the guns over the utility. You can see the AUG is out. Freiberg flying through the air. Harry only good for 1. The numbers game working for Contact at present. We'll see Otto try and plant that bomb. Hulzerk must be careful around the top area. There is an AK looking for a head to pop. Only requires 1 bullet. See a smoke up. Give them some extra angles to work with. Heap has a flash, but they're all up together. It's got to be the rudimentary style. Otto with an off angle. Those ones on the low ground. Man advantage for Contact. Otto looking to pick the right time. Has Hulzerk spotted him? Oh, he scoped in just as he might have seen Otto. Oh my god, is there going to be another one? 0 seconds, he's done it again. How on earth have they won that? There's 3 people alive for Contact, and it's planted for all of them, surely. Robberies, daylight robberies from the Swedes. I thought Swedes were nice and passive.
Oh, the money for Dig is still bad, though. This is such a strange situation. They get 2 ninja diffusers. Now they're the ones that are going to have the worst buy in this round, because none of them survived, while over on the Contact side, they saved basically all their guns. This is really, really strange start to the game. But this is where Contact have a fantastic opportunity to try and wrestle back control of that economy. They've got a much better buy here. Even though they haven't won the earlier rounds, they've actually put themselves in a pretty good position ahead of round number 3.
I did say we were on the roulette wheel with Dignitas, and maybe this is the chance they needed. 2 smoke diffusers in a row, but still it feels very vulnerable on their CT side. Just takes 1 round to go wrong. There really isn't much in the bank. $650 in the bank right now. And the auto shotty won't really work out for Freiberg. Down he goes again. Spreading onto the site now, a Contact. Even better than last time. No frag for Harry on this occasion. Heap could get an upgrade here if he's lucky enough. Forest is not able to get towards the A-bomb site, and they have been deleted on this occasion. Indeed, they were ill-equipped. But Contact will break them immediately. Eventually, rather. 3rd round. Quite a shocking start for Contact. Got to be frustrating, but they're on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's the main thing. They get a round, a win, and they should get a few off the back of this. Even with a couple of guns being saved for Dig, it's not going to be a great spot for them. I was watching Contact's interview with Neil M, which Freya did on the Flashpoint YouTube channel earlier today, and he was saying that Rigon is a player who can sometimes get a bit frustrated. He said that he can sometimes lose his cool in some of these situations. If he feels like he loses his team around, he said that that can carry on throughout the whole game. So it's maybe a bit scary seeing him out at 0-3 to start this one off. I think Neil M also said he's trying to work with Rigon to make him realize, look, even if you just lose 1 round for us, it's not the end of the world. Try and make sure it doesn't spiral out of control.
Yeah. Need to get over it. Speaking of 0-3, Forest and Freiberg. Also 0-3, despite those 2-round wins from Dignitas. And it seems they've put some money into this one. Well, that's not too shabby from Forest. One through the smoke. Freiburg on the roof again. Good spot to avoid the flashbangs. Spinks has got to time his peaks while looking on a low ground now. Freiburg spotted one, but he's unable to escape. Damage has been done, however. Hulzak still here with a rifle. There's one below him. Surely the trade is here. Also just about gets there. 10 HP for him. Spinks is low as well. 2-on-2. There's an incendiary for Heath and a flashbang. You can see him on the low ground. Otto's angle's got to pay out for him here. Heath is going to get there first, though. And that leaves Spinks with 28 HP, 1v1. Forest only with a deagle. Only requires one bullet. Probably aim for the head, though. Starts to creep out. Spinks won't be able to shoot him first. And back we go again. I can see more force buys in our future. If they're even needed, there's a fair amount of money for Contact. And again, Dignitas surviving with one player. It's going to be hard. Every round has been difficult so far, and it continues in such a fashion.
Contact just keep on getting that bomb down. Whatever the hell happens, they're getting the bomb plant. Spinks did a pretty solid job on this round as well. Even in the clutch attempt, he gave himself a chance in this final fight, but seeing it from Forest's perspective, he only needed to land that one shot to win the round. And the buys come back out. Freiburg going for that auto shotty again, which you always get to see on Nuke. Always fun to watch out for. And even though we had a really weird start to the game, this is looking more like normal gun rounds. So I'm glad we get to the meat and potatoes and we get to the main course early.
Still not seeing much of the Mag 7 with its reduced price, but I guess being able to fire multiple shots will certainly help. See Harry looking for a creep through the smoke. Here we go, Freiburg finally with the auto shotgun. He's making money as well. 3K for Freiburg. This is exactly the round Dignitas need. Absolute massacre, and they have to stay alive. Even if Otto can't win the round, well, never mind the damage. A clean sheet from Dignitas. Upgrades to be had. 4 AK-47s now. That's exactly the start they needed. Bonus money from that gun from Freiburg, the shotgun. He's got $6,000 now.
Yeah, Freiburg shaking his moneymaker in that round. Obviously being the auto shotgun before anyone gets on my case. Really nice drop down. That last kill was so nice.
Satisfied.
As well. And now they've got a bunch of AKs on the CT side, which is always fun. You get the chance for the insta headshots, and more importantly, Contact are down to a poor position with their money. So this is a really nice start for Dignitas. Even though it was uncomfortable to begin with, just getting those early rounds on the board hopefully will give them a bit of comfort.
Hulzak ready. We have a bait set up. Heap looking to avoid any potential flashbangs which come from Snappy. Here comes the swing. 3 players. Heap will deliver nothing actually. Hulzak will get 3 though. He's really maimed the push. 2 players will go down eventually. But that's good for Dignitas. A fast 5-1. I feel like a lot of the rounds were on a knife edge, but the score is all that matters ultimately. Pretty reasonable spot. The AWP is now out for Hulzak. We've got 5 AK-47s in the hands of Contact. A reasonable level of utility as well. Everybody's on the scoreboard now. No more zeros in the kill column. Let's see if Dignitas can hold against Contact or if they'll be broken again.
Early nade and molly to the door from Spinks, just to try and take away that position from the CTs. Something that Potter pointed out in Dignitas' earlier game was that Hulzak was doing okay statistically, but he didn't get any opening kills on either map with the AWP. And I think that's where a lot of your value has to come from as an AWPer. So I'd love to see him getting a bit more involved early in this round. He is currently holding towards Yard, where he might get some fights, because Contact are lining up their smokes. We've had some smoke shenanigans, James. I'm hoping that Contact have got that wall of smokes down. And they're just throwing them now. Looks like on the minimap those smokes are fine, but they're not going to commit off the back of them. Contact instead going back into lobby.
Yeah, they've got Esperanto outside, but Forrest is also outside, and he has the information that is required by Dignitas. This will allow them to keep an eye on ramp and the site, but 2 for 2. 2 might not be enough on the A-bomb site. Will they avoid getting traded? Rigon creeping out there, crab walking, denied by Freiburg, who gets a second one. That's exactly what Dignitas needed. Can't turn around for the third, but Hulzak is here to trade at the very least. Down goes Forrest on the outside, and we've got a 2 versus 1. Esperanto with 35 seconds, got a smoke in main, the bomb's ahead of him. Can see Hulzak looks to be holding the angle, but he goes down the ladder. Was exposed to Squeaky at the same time. Oh no, he went down onto the site instead. And there it is, 2 survive for Dignitas, 6-1. The score is great for Dignitas. Dignitas VIE.
Dignitas VIE. Yeah, that's a round where I think k0ntact had a decent idea, but going for the k0ntact A play here, you have to just rely on getting early kills. The other problem was obviously that...
Ooh, that was clean.
That is nice. Yeah, the other problem was that f0rest was just sitting in secret that whole time. And even though Esperanto gets that kill at Yard, it couldn't really have an impact on the round because the players stacked on A were very well prepared. Hulzerk arrives quite quickly on the rotate. And this is an early timeout taken by k0ntact. I wouldn't be surprised to see them going back to something slightly more standard in one of the future rounds now. Perhaps just go for those Yard smokes down secret. I feel like we haven't seen that much of that on Nuke recently, though. It seems like teams are less frequently using those smokes to actually go down secret. They're more kind of just fighting for Yard, maybe sometimes trying to wrap Heaven. It is a lot of a commitment if you go for those smokes, right? Oftentimes it's like 4 smokes being used, and it can make it difficult to play the rest of the round.
Especially if you're MIBR.
Yeah.
Sure they fixed it by now, though. Peppering the feet, the hot coals for k0ntact in the hut. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is proving to be expensive. Now we've got a post-plant AWP, potentially. That would be quite the problem. And it's in the hands of Otto. That will certainly make it a problem. Force from his angle. The question is, how do they plant a bomb? That smoke grenade will certainly help. Now, do Dignitas VIE force the issue through that smoke? Awkward for all concerned. Esperanto holding angles. Otto not looking to commit to a bomb plant just yet. They don't know where both, or maybe even either, of the Dignitas VIE players are. That smoke will come and go. And I do wonder what the intentions are here for k0ntact. Are they heading towards B?
Dropping down that vent is just so scary. You don't want to be risking that in the 2v2. You could look a fool if you get that wrong. So Esperanto's gone back to the A site. Otto's still just making up his mind, though, hoping that a mistake is made. But Dignitas VIE are playing this very patiently. Finally, Otto commits. Oh, Esperanto has to watch Heaven. They're both pushing at the same time, and Otto's not ready. Both players coming in from the same angle. k0ntact can't win the 2v2. A decent round for them, considering the investment, but they need to get some round wins on the board now.
Yeah, that was very awkward for k0ntact. Had no idea where Dignitas VIE were. That smoke grenade, I think, was the opportunity. It would have been so awkward for Dignitas to make a play through that. But it came and went, and we have 7 rounds on the board for Dignitas VIE. This is a perfect start as far as the score is concerned for them. Again, have to be a heavy underdog in this game. Just been doing so much losing. Now we see a difference from k0ntact very quickly outside, beyond the smoke grenade. f0rest, though, really good with his spray. However, Snappy is alive. His footsteps may be heard by f0rest around a garage position. We've got Freiberg downstairs. Now, will this be a one and done spot? Snappy's pretty low as well, but again, he is the bait. He'll force Freiberg away. Nice work from Snappy. Great movement. Nice AD, little jiggle. Freiberg does not want to get traded and concede position. Oh, Esperanto really on the hunt aggressively. And Dignitas will assume that they have control of control.
That definitely could have gone badly for Freiberg. He's still not in a great spot here. He's not going to be too happy about where he's put himself. k0ntact only with 2 players down secret right now, though. 48 seconds left. k0ntact still taking their time in this round. 2 players stacked in ramp, so Freiberg can come over here and know he's got his back covered, but those 2 Ts are closing the distance. Freiberg finally spots them. This could be a bloodbath, though. Heath from above, good off angle, can get the first kill. Now he can just tuck in, and he gets the second headshot. Bomb dropped down, and k0ntact are down and out of this round. There's no way they can get that bomb back. Freiberg's still here on the B site. k0ntact never allowed to group up in this round, and Esperanto can try and frag out, but it's not happening.
I've got to say, this was really strong from Freiberg in the sense of staying alive, not fighting to the death, and also realizing that k0ntact are trying to bait players towards that B-bomb site, pull him out of position. Esperanto's done good damage. He won't win the round because there's no more time left, but he made it a hell of a lot more expensive. That's plus 12,000 damage at the end there. But again, Dignitas did not take the bait. They were trying to be invited down towards the B-bomb site from the presence of k0ntact. Maybe went for a split towards the end. And we can see even now, I think there was a bait set up on the ramp from Dignitas, which never needed to activate because of the 2K up on the boxes. A very strong CT half so far from Dignitas VIE.
Yeah, as soon as they got their comfort off those early rounds, it's been so much more decisive. Those early rounds, there were bomb plants for c0ntact. The rounds were getting close. But in the last 5 rounds, c0ntact have not been able to get the bomb down. It's been a big shake-up. I think for c0ntact, the issue they're having in some of these rounds now is that in that one, they just never had the chance to really work together in any of those fights. They were all kind of split up in different groups of 2. Dignitas are able to make sure they hold their positions. And now we get a technical pause, which might break up the momentum of Dignitas a bit. But honestly, they're looking pretty chill right now.
Forrest's stream is hard for me to watch sometimes. Purely because he's like the nicest person ever. I'm like, how can I be this nice? When I'm playing Counter-Strike and I'm frustrated and, you know, he's just the nicest person. There's not even a hint of any tension, frustration. It's nuts. It's crazy. If you have some kind of online class, I'd take it. Doesn't even matter what the subject is. Yeah, one team has a TeamSpeak timeout.
Is Hara like... Oh, his webcam's gone out. Is Hara like in a shed there? It almost looked like he's in like a shed in the back garden.
That's a good question. I do not have the answer for you, though.
Yeah, I don't know why you would. I don't know why I'd ask you, to be honest.
I'm still a TeamSpeak user.
Are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I use it sometimes.
I had a server and a TeamSpeak with multiplay, but with the rise of, I guess, other services and Discord and the like, they just stopped offering it.
Oh, really?
So like on this date, you'll no longer have a server or TeamSpeak. So that was a big rip, but I haven't made a Discord yet. Can't be asked.
Can't be asked.
Well then, c0ntact have come close in a number of rounds. But ultimately, I mean, it's just a huge boost for Dignitas VIE. Again, with their run of results, they've lost 7 games in a row. They haven't won a game for months.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing stats like that.
They've had a lot of issues figuring out their roster because they did their roster move, I think, a month or 2 ago, and then Freiburg got COVID, so he couldn't play. They had Vendetta standing in. There have been so many issues for this team, so it's quite nice to see them actually winning a map right now.
Yeah, well, in the lead.
Let's not
get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. If you ever play Among Us, though, with Vendetta, because he's a very cerebral person, if you just accuse him randomly, he gets very upset.
Oh,
so
wow.
Of course I accuse him all the time.
On purpose.
I'm a trigger machine. So
nice.
c0ntact are back on the pistols. Esperanto, however, let's not forget the damage he did on the ramp. That may pay off in a round to come. Maybe it'll pay off in this one. Through the flames he goes. There's a smoke as well, looking to seek and destroy. Freiburg's got a lot to do now because they really are streaming in through the smoke. No kill from Freiburg, and this is going to cost them so much money. So look on the right. Look at the column for Dignitas. They've got to save these weapons. They have to.
Really feels like c0ntact have had a game plan here of just trying to abuse that A bomb site. They've gone for quite a few A rushes now. You normally see maybe 2 of those a half, 3 of those a half from most teams maximum. That's normally including some Tech 9 rushes in there. But even in some of these gun rounds and these sort of scrappy half buys, c0ntact are just consistently thinking they can rush out onto A. And this time it actually works for them. And in the previous rounds, they were normally at least getting the bomb down and making it competitive. So nice to see c0ntact finding a way in. Nice to see them finding another round. Because remember, this was c0ntact's map pick. It was really getting out of control there. Getting a round back will be valuable. He just about.
That's an awkward time to unscope. But he's alive. And they can buy around this to some degree. He's got 4.5. Harry more or less the same. And Hallzak's got 6k in the bank. But a charge into the A bomb site from c0ntact, a flying Mac 10 kill from Rigon. Now the question is, can they follow up on that? If they can, they could reasonably target Dignitas VIE, target 7 rounds, because Dignitas VIE won't have any money. That does require winning future buy rounds, but we'll see. It's good to have targets. Hallzak up close with the AWP. They're surely not expecting this. He's so fast. Repositions immediately. There's so many different places he could be. That will rattle off, though, and maybe give Esperanto a little more confidence as he makes his way towards Secret. Frost looking for the taps again. No one downstairs just yet for Dignitas VIE. They've got a man advantage, but we need to see a response to the position taken by c0ntact.
Heath should be the first responder. He is now arriving. As that ramp player, you have to know when to rotate down to B. He's going to get there in time. Great to see Hulzert getting proactive as well. He's had a good start to the game. Now he's starting to make aggressive plays as well, get involved in some of those early fights. And Dignitas VIE even getting aggressive into lobby right now. Spinks is the only man holding this position. He goes round, gets the first kill, but he's not spotted that second player. Freiburg is going to start to close the distance. Meanwhile, the B site is still being pressured, but Spinks gets a second kill. CT's down towards B. Can c0ntact go back up to A, though? It would be a big risk, but because Spinks is up at the top of Squeaky, they're going to make the play.
Yeah, surely that pulls the rotation. 2 kills around that Squeaky position on the attempted flank. Esperanto takes an angle towards Heaven, and a bomb is planted on A. Dignitas VIE seem to have a good read as to the B play, but maybe lost position and maybe the round on the A bomb site. Hulzert has flashes. However, oh, they are going to go for it, it seems. Forrest going round the wide. Because you can't tell sometimes, is he going CT or is he lining up for a flash? To make it a proper pop flash. Contact seem to all be by the squeaky door apart from Spinks there, who's in the hut position. We've got Molotovs which are up, and Heath has been dragged down into the A bomb site. Dead, unfortunately for him. Save time again for Dignitas VIE. c0ntact. That one worked out pretty well for them. 2 failed flanks in Squeaky allowed the rotation to A, and that's where they find success.
Shout out to Spinks in that round. I mean, Freiburg will be a little disappointed he didn't get the chance to really swing out for the trade in the first place, but that's because Spinks gets the first kill and then tucks in the corner and is still aware. That was a really nice shot from Hulzert. It almost looked like he just pre-fired that angle, knowing that people might be there, and then just wanted to get away quickly, but Spinks really showing up in that round. He's been asked to play a different role on this c0ntact lineup as well. They were saying that normally Spinks is, an aggressive FPL type player, but you see there, he's actually kind of holding on the extremities of the map, and apparently he's adapted really well to that role. It's worked out for him in that one, and now Otto's just trying to fight.
Spotted one by the garage, and he'll make his way down. Hulzert and Heath and Forrest with much to do. It's a fair amount of rifles. It's still a dangerous round for c0ntact despite the advantages. They still have to breach. One smoke grenade remains for Dignitas VIE. No Kevlar for Freiburg. Money has been left in the hole. Now, where are the dangers here for c0ntact? That is the question. Will it be expensive to find them out? There's Spinks. That'll be quite costly. There are other rifles as well. Maybe some footsteps heard. I can see one of the T's running that lobby position. 59 seconds on the clock. How long will c0ntact wait for more aggression? Oh, just as he turns through the wall, no less. The bomb spotted towards the ramp. 5 versus 3. Here's some position for c0ntact, but the bomb has to be collected, and now there's only 2 of them. They've done 0 damage in this round so far.
Only Esperanto remaining. Nice headshot, but he needs more than that. With 35 seconds left on the clock. Harris playing up close, spots him out. Esperanto trying to hunt him down, but Harris just going to play it safe. And Hulzert just reels him in. 3 kills on the AWP. I'm really liking what we're seeing from Hulzert here. I think when he's playing with confidence like this, when he's knowing that he can kind of win a bunch of these fights, he is a lot of fun to watch. 17 for 6 now on the AWP there. And he was a big part of them winning this round.
Yeah, that was fantastic to watch. I love those awkward rounds where you're lacking quite a lot, because it just forces the action. You have to go and take the round. And you can see the frustration there for c0ntact. We spoke about it. They're 6 round behind. Oh, here we go again. The flick he sees enough as the flashbang hits. Can he escape now through the smoke? I think he might have support. But how much do you want to risk losing? See Forrest offering some spray. Knows they're going to try and do something. Hulzert may hear some footsteps going towards Secret. Hiding in plain sight for the time being. The bomb's been dropped again.
Otto is going to clear the angle. Important headshot to find. Forrest is still sticking around, though. Oh, he doesn't spot the head of Spinks. Otto's in the open, though. Forrest can't get the kill. Otto turns it round for his 2nd kill of the round. And now he's got the AWP back into his hands. Into a 3v3. Still decent utility for c0ntact and a lot of map control to work with. Spinks is starting to flank through Heaven, and this is really going to pressure these CT positions.
Look at the fear, though. Otto's just been holding T-spawn after collecting that AWP. A rare miss from Forrest gives c0ntact away back into this round. Sound cues have been cut. We've got 2 on the high ground. Someone's going to get timed. Will it be Heath, though, or will it be Spinks up top? Spinks' jiggles are really nasty, I'm noticing. If you're on the receiving end of it, Freiburg looking for the transfer. Otto is here, though. Harry knows where Spinks is. Spinks has to be careful. 16 HP, makes his way down. 30 seconds to plant the bomb. Bomb has to be collected. Spinks is eliminated. And there is the round for Dignitas. Only Harry will survive. He'll take the AWP. Great play from Hulzak once again. He is savaging them on the CT side.
Yeah, he's doing great. And this was always one of the questions, because this c0ntact roster do have quite a lot of skilled players. So we needed to see some players step up from Dignitas VIE. Hulzak has definitely been doing that, and Forrest got one through the smoke as well.
For the first time.
And then he missed when he could see Otto.
Yeah, he was unlucky on that one. I feel like he should have shut it down there, more or less. But they will eventually. Freiburg back on the auto shotty. The bank of Freiburg. Hulzak 18 for 7 now. And here we go. Heath's got to fall back, surely. Really getting tagged by this one. I'll try to buy some time for his teammates. In the meantime, the push through lobby would be punished. Spinks has been putting some work in as well. Heath is dead. Forrest is swinging straight onto the site. Surely Rigon's heard this. The cavalry is on the way. Forrest looking for the tight shots, but Rigon will eliminate him. Harry in control now. Needs Hulzak as well, but Hulzak can't get there in time. 1 versus 3. c0ntact will get a much-needed 4th round on the board. They're actually making something worth fighting for as they move into the second half soon. c0ntact. 4th one on the board. Maybe a fifth to come.
I am slightly surprised we haven't seen c0ntact test the waters towards ramp sooner as well, because we know that Heath is this very inexperienced player. Even if he is someone who's playing well in scrims and apparently has the mechanical ability, that the decision-making on ramp is sometimes difficult for newer players in actual game scenarios. Because Heath is someone who's so inexperienced. He'd only played, I think, up until ESEA main before joining this team, which is at least something, but in terms of actual games on HLTV, he had barely any. So it's I think, a project for this Dignitas VIE roster, getting Heath involved. So far, he's been doing fine, though. So far, Dignitas VIE have been doing fine. 10-4 lead for them, heading into the last round of the half. The money is not great, though, James, so we might have to see even more out of Hulzak if they want to get 11 at the half.
End of the timeout coming. Have c0ntact got one more in them? They were very hesitant in the last round. We saw where there were 3 rifles for Dignitas. This time there are 2 with the MP9, making the 3rd primary weapon. Oh, there's a rifle on the floor. We'll see if they go for another fast play into the A-bomb site, or how they'll change things up, try and catch their opponent by surprise. Freiburg on the Deagle again. Seems to be taking the worst weapons when necessary. All right, then Hulzak with angles outside. Will Snappy be a little too snappy? No shot fired. Harry's probably got some sound cues. I believe he does. He's trying to make his way downstairs very quickly indeed. Got to be real careful, though. He's probably been heard by the T's as well. But here comes Forrest, so it may be a bait setup. They're all going to chase Harry, though. Little burst from Forrest. Try and create some space for his teammate. Harry hops up. And now c0ntact have to consider their options. They know there are 2 players downstairs. They aren't necessarily committed here. You can see Spinks is lurking again on the outside. He's trying to catch another flank. He has been successful with that. c0ntact trying to find an opening by Dignitas being too aggressive.
It looks like c0ntact were hoping that there'd maybe be an over-rotation down to B. That's not really been the case up until this point, where a second man joins Harry on the B site. And this is just as c0ntact might be going back up secret. Snappy's still sticking around towards the B side of the map, but a quick play into A could be very successful right now. There's only 1 player committed to the site itself. There is that player at Yard as well, but it's the B play we might have to look for. Forrest has got the first kill, nades Snappy away, and it's going to be Hulzak getting the first on the AWP. Quickly traded out. 25 seconds left. They've got to get onto this A site.
Yeah, he saw the bomb on Rigon. Freiburg's playing for time, playing for the bomb plant, trying to stay alive. Now that bomb can get planted. Heath makes his way towards Hut. I think he may have made a step there. Snappy spotted him. Sorry, Spinks has. Spinks has been important in some of these rounds. But there's still more to do on this one. Forrest and Harry now, 2 versus 3. Snappy, can see he falls back to an off angle. This is the last round. They've got to go for it. Going for a kit. Going for a molly. Well, Snappy may have some problems now. Also, Harry's got more painful ones. Forest, last man standing. No kit, no more HP, and no hope. c0ntact make it to 5 rounds after a very strong start from Dignitas, score-wise at the very least, on Nuke. And I think it's all to play for as we move into the second half. That is coming after the break. Nice shoes.
Everywhere, people pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise. Got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice. Rats in the front room, wolves in the back. Chuck is in the alley with the baseball bat. I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far. Cause a man with the touch of repossessed my car. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a trouble sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a trouble sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window, watching all the cars go by, roaring as the breeze blow. A crazy lady living in a bag, eating out of cocktails, used to be like hang such a desert tango, skipping like a tango, was a concrete to sing along the set, sit down at the beach show, watching all the freaks, so she can tell her stories to the girls back home. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a trouble sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a trouble sometimes, it makes me wonder.
Dignitas move into the T side with 10 rounds on the board. Again, very successful early, but c0ntact came back late to make it doable. The pistol will be very important. No diffuse kit from c0ntact, interestingly. They've all gone for Kevlar on the CT side. 4 USPs, 1 P2000. Dignitas VIE with junk in the trunk on Freiburg and Harry. They got some stuff to throw.
And they're going to start throwing it. Flashes into the A site. Smoke is down. Hulzuk going to be the man in first. Spink spamming in the back, but he can't find the kill. Rigon, though, coming in from above. And Freiburg is not going to be able to fight his way out of that one. c0ntact don't need the kick because they locked down the A bomb site.
Well, we saw some spicy kills, but indeed c0ntact will prevail. I'm not sure how many had Kevlar that was untouched in that round, because if it is untouched, you get that cheap helmet for 350, which certainly helps you buy a rifle rather than something less ideal like a FAMAS or an SMG. You can see the AUG on Auto with no helmet, however, but everyone else has a helmet. So it's a pretty great pistol round, nice and brief from c0ntact. Need to avoid dying to this force buy, though. This is what I spoke about yesterday. Snipers and what they do on the force buy. Hulzuk hasn't gone for the force buy here. He's got almost 1,400 in the bank. He wants that AWP ASAP.
Smoke down from Rigon, who's here in time, but as they jump across, well, I thought he was going to have a tough time. He actually sprayed 2 players down in the end. Nice control on the FAMAS, and now Heath, the man in the back lines, won't have too many chances. Maybe a kill or 2 is all you can really expect from him here.
A race car force buy round. All the cars have crashed but one. Heath needs to do as much damage as possible Just take it 1 kill at a time. He has 1 minute to emerge from anywhere. This is good for crosshair placement. See how he's approaching all of these. Looks immediately to the right, looking for a trade fragger. Expecting him to play as a team. Esperanto will finish him off. Oh, it's a great start for c0ntact. They've survived the very brief force bite, it must be said. So not too shabby just yet. You can see Neolem as a penchant for Yeezys.
I don't know how that's not through the smoke, according to CSGO. Because you get the smoke icons in the top right. Apparently that wasn't through the smoke. Which I don't believe.
It was fake smoke.
Fake smoke.
The Deagles are out. 5 Deagles on deck, no Kevlar, and not much else. Deagle look to invite c0ntact to take one in the face. Again, it's a question of damage in this round. Looking to have some long-term impact to the economy of c0ntact. Otto playing very far back, doesn't want a gun getting into the hands of his opponents. Forrest having a quick look. Aim punch will be a pain for Dig in this round. Otto willing to entertain. And only Hulzerk remains. 3,050 in the bank. He's got 59.50 now, so the AWP is en route.
Yeah, it's really nice for c0ntact. Getting both those rounds without really losing anything. They're going to be so happy with the money they've got in the bank right now. They will still take this as a bit of a bonus round with some of those weaker weapons, which means we could see some crazy plays. I think that's a really important start to the second half for c0ntact as well, because Neolem was saying in interviews he thinks they've got the easiest group here. So if you go out last place after saying that, you're going to look like a fool. So c0ntact winning the all-important start to the half. Now they are going to get aggressive over at Yard. Esperanto with the M4 taking this position behind the red container. Dignitas VIE setting up some nades as we speak, but there are quite a few c0ntact players who could help out at Yard if needed.
Is Esperanto just going to stand and fight? Will there be a flashbang for him? Surely he regresses here. Could be a bait now, looking to duel with Heath as well. Just his head showing, and there's more coming his way. Freiburg will finally trade. Let's see what Rigon's up to. Will he just try to make his way into main? Oh, Otto's found one for Hulzerk. Lots of fighting outside. Very successful for c0ntact, it must be said. Now we'll see what else Forrest can do here. The bomb is in the middle of nowhere, however. But Heath has an AWP. Oh, not fast enough on that occasion. Bit of a false start so far in this half for Dignitas VIE.
Forrest looking for those taps. He's got nades, which could help him, but he's also got a player emerging from the top of Silo, which is not expected. Spinks getting into a nice unorthodox position, as he has done a couple of times throughout this game. And we are right back to a close one. c0ntact win all the rounds early on the CT half. And even though Dignitas VIE worked so hard to get that strong lead, it is being snatched away from them as c0ntact come right back into things here in the second half.
Yeah, they gave Otto the AWP as well. And he's got $7,000 in the hole. So this is not a good look for Dignitas. Looking for their first round on the board. Unlikely to come from this one. You never know, though. Esperanto focusing on the outside. Meanwhile, tight choke point for Rigon. See what his spray looks like. Oh, falls back into the Molotov. He's got trouble now. Lost his angle completely. Had a chance to fire some shots there. And look what's happened instead. Heath with 2 kills. But can they get the bomb plant? Otto upstairs, and we know what he's capable of. Dignitas VIE kind of fallen back to some degree. You can see Harry on the site, but they've got to focus on the lobby. Esperanto won't last long with that smoke going. Otto from up top has a shot. He's one getting tagged, though, and fragged as well. A calamity. Bit of fight or flight for Rigon. Went back to CT Vent, and that was the end of that.
Snappy's still thinking about having a look. I thought there was an AWP in front of him at Heaven, but he didn't want to switch out for it, at least not now. Maybe he'll go back for that at the end when he's not going to make any noise in doing so. Dignitas VIE now running away from the site. Snappy still laser focused on these angles.
Been robbed!
They've stolen it!
Oh no, you've been clowned, bro. There's a molly on the bomb as well, so no ninja defuse, there's no consolation for that. Just didn't want to give up the sound cue and then have everybody hunt him afterwards. Absolute absolutely robbed. That was snaked.
That's such a tilter.
That's amazing. Just not there anymore.
It's just gone. Oh, Heath. Nice kills with the Tech 9. Harry then got that AK. Ulzerk doing a bit of damage with the Beagle. Oh, he even inspected it before the shot.
Look at my print stream.
Ah.
Well, that was, I think we're seeing similar rounds one, or a similar round one to some of the few that Contact were able to eke out on their T side. Now, this is an important round for both. Contact still have some money here and there for some shenanigans should they fail. Same can be said for Dignitas VIE. Oh, this grenade. Oh my god, there's so much protein. Oh my god, look at that. That's so painful.
That is very nice. Snappy's still got a molly as well. If he gets the timing right on that, we could even get some toasted players. Oh, it's an off angle. It's so hard to deal with this. Snappy. Oh, he gets it through the box. That early damage helping him get the spam onto Freiburg. Now Snappy can back off to the B site happily. Otto missing that first chance, missing again. Harris somehow getting out of here alive, and Otto's actually going to have to back away, but it's Esperanto who's pushing. He's just taking the fight. That's so ballsy. But he knew that there were a fair few players at ramp, decided to go for the aggression, and now Contact are in great shape.
Yeah, the static Dignitas being exploited by Contacts. Multiple flanks we're seeing. Smaller ones, larger ones. And Ulzerk's just praying for to be given something. He'll be given a flick from Rigon. Going for a flash for his teammate. Oh, the barrel of the gun's been spotty. He's given up the angle, trying to do too much, and this may turn things around. All of a sudden, we've got big problems on the A bomb site. Spink's buying time, however, and B is an option as well, but Otto is going shotgun mode. The trade is here. This is descending into madness. Through Decon, there might be a chance to plant the bomb around the back. Can he get there, though? No. Snappy rotates in time. Turned into a complete mess. Just trying to do too much.
Yeah, just hold the crossfire there. It looked like Rigon may have even blinded Esperanto with the flash he threw. Maybe because he started to get panicked, realizing he was going to be caught from behind. Nice start from Snappy, though. Just getting that man advantage helps so much. And then Esperanto having to get aggressive as well. Here are the kills from Heath. And then, okay, maybe he wasn't blind. Maybe I'm just a liar. Then we get into this. I don't know what to say about this. But it all went back to normal Counter-Strike at the end. Contact.
That's a cool angle. Ah, on the mouse. I'm in the keyboard. Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not bad. A lot of face palming going on.
Yes.
Emotional player, maybe. Or maybe just really likes his face. Maybe he's got a smooth face. He likes to touch it.
Maybe.
Who knows? It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, Dignitas. How do you think they looked very likely to win a round in the rounds you've seen, if you know what I mean? I feel like Contact have got strong advantages here.
Yeah.
With the way they're playing, the confidence, the flanks, liberties are being taken.
You can definitely switch it up quite a bit on Nuke, though. There are lots of other options if you're getting shut down somewhere. It's also nice that Ulzerk's got the AWP into his hands now. Our stats man Yumi brought up a great stat that from the first half, Ulzerk got a kill in all but 2 of the rounds, and 15 of those were with the AWP, and he's got one here in the second half as well. Ulzerk landing a shot at Yard. They are going to get down secret before the smokes fade. There is already a man waiting for them, though. It's a bit of an unexpected angle from Snappy as well. You don't normally see CTs playing this spot so aggressively. He's fully committed to this angle. He has to spray away. He has to commit to this, and he's not going to get a single kill. Forrest swings on him, and now Dignitas VIE have a great chance to get on towards this B site.
Heath playing the long con. His teammates have got to know he's not actually watching the angle. You can see being checked for by Forrest, but this has caused some problems now. Decon's in control of Contact. Showing some presence, opening the door. Ulzerk looking to control the ramp in the meantime. But again, let's not forget that flank is still on the way, but it's pretty slow at present. Heath still on the upside, but Freiburg, he's spotting them around the smoke there. Nice quick scope from Ulzerk to finish off the job. And Dignitas are back on the scoreboard. Contact still have money though, but there's a lot of problems actually. Otto, Esperanto, and Rigon are going to have some issues here. This may be do or die for Contact. May feel that way in the backs of their minds.
That round just comes back to Snappy being down secret as well. He took a huge risk in playing that position. He knew he had to get kills there, because normally you just want to play that spot, get some information, stay alive towards B, and at least allow a rotation, at least allow some assistance from teammates. Maybe someone from ramp can come help you quickly. But you try and do something a bit different, you try and catch them off guard, and as soon as you start to miss some shots, there's no way you're getting out alive. You're just going to have to try and get kills. Hulzerk, again, looking so confident. He's happy to just swing at Yard. Maybe he knows that the contact money is not too good right now, so he's just looking for fights with the AWP, which would be favorable at range. Esperanto is currently down secret, and he may give this kill away. He has. Hulzerk opening up another round for Dignitas VIE.
Starting to warm up, it seems. Harry just swinging, looking for information pretty wildly. He'll get some... That's a rifle that's certainly going to be collected by Contact. We'll see if that plays a part in this round later on. Just running towards CT spawn alone, vulnerable to many different angles there. I'm not sure if they had a hard read on what Contact might be doing. You can see Heath still playing anti-eco position up top. Spinks is here to trade, however. And now we're down to that 3-on-3. Starting to get a little ropey now. There are smokes to go for a B bomb plant. You can see Contact fishing. Only Snappy downstairs for now with the Deagle, however. Hulzerk takes control of control. 27 seconds now. Snappy's creeping. You want to keep your guns out. 20 seconds for the bomb to get planted. You know the rotation's coming. Big flashbang eaten. I think it was a team flash. Forest has the vents at the very least. Very patient. Years of experience there. This plant must be successful. Oh my god, Otto, he can escape now. He's going for the frags. They're looking for the transfer. Surely not. Oh my god, the wire it came down to. One more bullet. One more bullet was all that was needed.
So close, man. So close. I think that transfer back was just slightly off on those last bullets. Only needed one of them to land. Doesn't happen for him. And then Hulzerk on the other side gets his second attempt with the AWP. And he gets it to go his way. There's the first shot from Hulzerk. So Otto did damage that player at first. And yeah, that transfer back. The bullets are so close. Not meant to be, though. And now Contact's money is awful. They've got basically nothing.
Man, that was terrifying. I really wonder what the plan... Was it Harry who was running towards Hell, CT spawn and so on? Maybe they didn't realize how... I'm not sure what the plan was there, but... he was just out there. He was that guy. And Freiburg is that guy on this particular round. He sees a crossfire set up on the ramp. 2 USPs. I imagine they'll want to keep the numbers together. A nice spray from Forest. Oh, the HE grenade. He can't escape it. Sent to the moon. Rigon on the upstairs. No trade fragger on the roof, and oh my god, it's falling to pieces once again. Sappy and Esperanto remain with the USPs. Just some headshots required. Look at the angles that Heath is having to cover. Almost doing 360s like a Dalek on steroids. Esperanto now trying to collect a weapon, perhaps. Now, this is still clutchable, I think. Not likely, of course, but Freiburg and Heath don't have the best of health. Bombs finally planted. Oh dear, just can't land that headshot on Heap, and Dignitas will survive another test. Some rough rounds, but they are 2 away from victory on the first map.
Yeah, slowly but surely getting the rounds they need. Contact looking very stressed right now, as they should be. If they lose this map, they run the risk of losing this series and not getting a single win so far in this group. They put the pressure on themselves when they said they've got the easiest group here, and that could come back to haunt them if they end up losing against Dignitas VIE in this one. Smoke's going down towards Yard. Freiburg putting that nade onto Squeaky to look for some early fights. Harry, the man, lurking, and this is likely to be a quick A split, I think. Harry's normally the aggressive entry man for the team, so the fact that he's coming in from mini means it is going to be that A split. Freiburg getting the first kill. Esperanto caught again in that same position. Now Rigon has to play up close, has to try and slow them down. He's even going into the smoke, almost body blocking them in at hut right now, but that smoke's going to fade, and Forest doesn't get the reaction. Freiburg's able to trade, pulls up with another one, and Otto with the AWP has to try and clutch, or maybe just has to try and save. He doesn't even have Kevlar, he doesn't have a kit, and he doesn't have any control of the bomb site, so he's backing away. Dignitas VIE have got themselves 15, and this map pit for Contact is not going according to plan.
No, it really isn't. Not over just yet. Very key that Udoh holds on to this, and I think he likely will because Dignitas, well, Heath's got $7,000. We'll see if they choose to hunt. Forest has got 500, so they may prioritize their own economy. But indeed, the rounds, the nature in which the string of rounds in the first half are won and so on, I feel like this could easily have gone a different way to some degree. c0ntact could have got more rounds in their first half. I think they were unlucky with those smoke diffusers. But it's not over just yet. Udoh with an AWP can do a lot, as has Hulzerk on the cusp of a 30 bomb. We'll see if he can get it in this round.
Yeah, Hulzerk's the only player positive on his team in terms of KD, which is absurd considering they're winning 15-10. But he has been the man today for Dignitas VIE, at least on this first map. And we'll take a look at the buy for c0ntact. The last standby here on Nuke. They need to win this one. Udoh's able to get that AWP saved through. The rest of the players having to scrap together what they can. But you can see the confidence that Hulzerk's playing with right now. The confidence from Esperanto may be misplaced though. Hacid catches him on the edge of the smoke early. And Dignitas VIE get an early man advantage. It might get doubled up as well. Rigon sneaking through this smoke. Oh, the timing. So close. But Hacid's going to start to flank through hell. Flank through heaven, and this is going to be a difficult position for c0ntact to deal with. They've got no one watching this right now. Oh no!
Oh, this is not the way they wanted to hold the ramp.
Don't
he's not going to
him.
do it, is he? He is going to do it, isn't he? Or is he? Okay, smart. This is not the stuff when you got a 7-round loss streak. There's no need to get a knife out at game point. Just finish off the job, and they are certainly doing that. Udoh. He's got many more frags to get, but it'll just be the one. Rigon now with an MP9 for c0ntact. Again, this was their map pick. Looking real difficult now. It's a long walk as well. Doesn't want to give that sound cue up if he can avoid it. He does not have a defuse kit. Down the ladder with the knife, and that may be resigning to loss. 16-10 for Dignitas VIE, a surprise victory on Nuke. That is absolutely monstrous for them. Again, such horrible results of late, but finally maybe they have a chance, not just to put me on top of the leaderboard, but also to win a match here and stay in Flashpoint. We're going to a feature of Freiburg. We'll see you after the break.